Hi, I'm JD, not John. Only two people have ever dared or insisted on calling me John, and neither is in this room. Even my mom, when she was angry, started my full legal name with JD. It was JD John David, blah, 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 blah. I'm not gonna list all the names my mama called me. You'll think of a few yourselves as I share with you my humorous tale of childhood head and brain injuries and post traumatic shock recoveries, TBI and PTS. I grew up your typical oversugared and hyper energetic 1970s child, smothered and overprotected one day, outside playing unsupervised all day and all night the next. It seemed. Schwinn banana seat bicycle with chopper handlebars, roller skating and skateboarding grew into rollerblades and then water skiing and snowboarding. I have three sisters, one a year and a half older, one a year and a half younger, and they were both a good bit taller than me growing up. So, of course, they ended up with bigger, stronger, faster bicycles than I had, with handlebar brakes and finger controlled gear shifters and red, white, and blue plastic streamers flying in the wind behind like the hairs on the wild horses that their friends loved to imagine and tell me all about while I was playing with my matchbox cars and little green army soldiers in the rockery and flower beds surrounding our yard. My sister's bikes were a good bit cleaner and less banged up than mine, too. So whenever we had friends over to ride and race and build elaborate wooden ramps to jump up and over things, my sister's bikes were a big deal. One day we did have a bunch of friends over. There were six or eight, maybe 35 or 100 of us. Really, eight or a dozen kids descending on one house was common in our neighborhood. In fact, during the summers, it was expected that the older kids would take turns congregating us at different houses on different days. Eventually, that house's kids would be called inside to clean and calm down while the rest of our rambunctious crew was sent off to play at one of the many schools and parks in our quickly expanding territory. We could fit two or three riders racing side by side from our backyard out to the front, pushing and kicking and hooting and hollering all the way. It was a 25-yard straight sprint from the cherry tree at the back fence along the side out past the front, where two flights of concrete stairs climbed up to our front porch and down to the sidewalk below and street beyond. I Or we could even make it a 45-yard race from the apricot tree across the backyard, past the cherry tree, around the corner, and then down the side straightaway sprint. I watched our moist Seattle grass give way gently as the older riders in the first few races slammed on their brakes and skidded their bikes into smooth stops or a big mangled pile of laughing kids and steel in the middle of our front yard, well before the imaginary finish lines disappeared over those six concrete steps down to the sidewalk and street below. When it was my turn that day, I missed the brakes. I forgot the bike had handlebar brakes, and instead of locking the wheel in a glamorous skid and smooth stop, my feet flew off the pedals like Fred Flintstone, clawing dirt and grass in frantic spinning futility. As time stopped and my memories disappear like our imaginary finish lines. As the bike and I tumbled up and over and down those 6 concrete stairs onto the sidewalk below and street beyond. We didn't have many bike races in our yard after that. We all became childhood head and brain injury and post traumatic shock survivors, first responders, and informed friends and family caregivers that day. And then we very quickly started exaggerating and embellishing and laughing about our accidents and injuries. Humor can be a very healthy way of bringing up and talking about some of the long lasting and often unseen or forgotten lifetime impacts surviving childhood TBI and PTS can have on families and friends over decades of love, loss, and laughter. I survived a series of childhood head and brain injuries and a series of childhood sports related concussions. And I may have permanent physical scars or mechanical damage on or inside my brain, or both. Missing and elusive memories and recurring nightmares do sometimes still complicate and confound my life in a few very specific, well known, and predictable ways. And we laugh hysterically about each and every injury, accident, and trauma whenever it helps any one of us remember not only what we are overcoming and living with, but also and especially the loving joy and encouraging humor we share with ourselves and others. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and thanks be to God and life on this planet.